Good morning, everyone. This is Wake Up with Toastmasters, and I am your host today, Phyllis Tribby. I am a distinguished Toastmaster and a past district director. And with me today is my guest, Curtis Helt. He is a distinguished Toastmaster. Welcome, Curtis.
Thank you so much, Phyllis. I appreciate that.
I am so glad that you were able to join us today.
Me too.
Tell us about your Toastmaster journey. Why did you join Toastmasters?
My best friend Norma told me one morning, you would fit well into Toastmasters. Come join us. It's at Denny's. I'll even buy breakfast. I said, okay, I'll go. I wanted to take a look at it. I got to Denny's. Lo and behold, I fell in love. I can tell you right now, no problem, what the theme was. Barnum and Bailey Circus. The word of the day was spectacle. The person that gave that word of the day was my mentor, Norma Tanner. The Toastmaster was Phyllis Wall. The general evaluator, that was Guy Dawson. I can tell you everything about that meeting. I was that enthralled with it. We had the most marvelous time. I even got called on table topics, which surprised me. We had a wonderful time doing it. It was the most impressive part of my morning that I had had in years. It was just wonderful.
And it sets you up for the day. You had a good time, and then you're happy the rest of the day. I think it's always great to have a morning meeting. But
yes, I was walking on water that day. It was literally get up and I could fly. I just felt involved. It was incredible.
And supported. Those people are very supportive. All Toastmasters are. My story is similar. Took me a little longer, but they get you with, I'll buy you breakfast, don't they?
Oh, yes.
Well, we've always said, provide food and they will come. That's true of any meeting, but it's certainly good to invite your friends to come and see what's happening at a Toastmaster meeting. When did you branch out? I think you're in a second club. When did you branch out for that?
I was in Windjammers for 3 years solid, and then I started to spread my wings a little bit. I got into I'll Drink to That Toastmasters. I got into there's another little club there, Centennial Hills Toastmasters, UNLV Toastmasters. I'm in 3 clubs now. I've never left my Windjammers. I'm in Centennial Hills and UNLV. Enjoy all 3 clubs. That's about as much as I can really take. I've got a lot going on. Otherwise, I'd be in full time.
I thought you were in Sage Leaders at one time.
I was in Sage Leaders, yes.
Well, I've been hearing good things about them, but let's talk about your other clubs that you're in. I know Windjammers is Wednesday at 7:30 every week, 7:30 a.m.
Yes.
But what about your other clubs? When are they?
UNLV is at 5:15 in the afternoon on Wednesdays. And the Centennial Hills is every other Thursday. It's the second and fourth Thursday of the month. And they're online, and that's at 6:30. It is a wonderful way to do it. I love having the ability to do both the meeting solid, which to be interacting with people is great. And I also love the ability to be able to plug into the computer and to go on to Toastmasters. And here I am. The two together are great.
I think that we've gotten used to Toastmasters being online. And I find, yes, it's like, well, I don't have to run out and go to the meeting. I can always just get online. And I find myself doing that. So I've kind of made a commitment, if it's in person at all, rather than going online, I try to go in person. That's kind of my commitment for this year. It's to get myself out of the house and get to these meetings and I think you're more involved when you're
Mhm.
in person. So are all of your clubs are hybrid or?
No, two of my clubs, I've got two that are in person and one club that's hybrid. It's a great mix. I guess essentially all three clubs are hybrid. I just attend the two
In
clubs
person?
live.
Ah,
Yeah. UNLV and Windjammers are both optional, and I'm there live every time. The Centennial Hills, you only have the computer. It's the only route to go. I go with the computer route there.
well, I've been to some hybrid meetings and, once you figure out what the setup will be for the room, then it gets to be a lot easier for the people that are on Zoom and the people that are in the room to coordinate with one another and talk more before the meeting. That was one of the things that's kind of missed is the social hour before each meeting. And once that setup is good, but it kind of takes a while to be sure that you have your setup. I know I've been to Windjammers for their anniversary party, which
Mhm.
was 64 years. Yes. And I noticed that Dana Wall Oakley and Phyllis Wall were taking down their setup because I wasn't there for setup, but they were taking it down. And they had a station wagon and half full of Toastmaster things to make this meeting meaningful for everyone involved. Do you find that they are unusual people to be willing to do that? Or do they do that in your other club?
I won't say they're unusual in that because they give their all. In my other club, Christina Scoville, which is UNLV Toastmasters, she gives her all. She's every time there, every which step of the way. She does big gatherings. She helps me with gatherings. I'm the president of that club. However, if I say, let's get a exco meeting, which the executive committee, all the officers, let's get together. We are there. She helps me set up everything. Let's do guest packets. She is filling guest packets, making things go just wonderfully. Finn, excuse me, is our, what do you call that? He talks to people all the time.
Public relations?
Yes, public relations. Now, when I say he talks to people all the time, I mean, this kid's computer has got 4 different websites going, it seems like simultaneously, and he can type into one, but he's actually typing into all 4. It just boom, boom, boom. The kid is a mental genius with computers. He's a phenomenal pianist. In fact, I get to go see him next week. He's doing a concert. We have a marvelous time together. It is incredible what we can do. In Windjammers, Phyllis, Dana, Norma, myself, we get together, we do things, and boom, it's incredible the mountains we can move. With Centennial Hills, Liz Babcock is outstanding. She's pushing like you wouldn't believe it. A bulldozer can't move as much material as she can. It's just incredible what she can do. In all 3 clubs, I've got people that are just incredible.
Good thoughts about all of your Toastmaster friends. And for our people that are not in Toastmasters, I want you to realize what close friends you will make while you're in Toastmasters. I walked into Toastmasters with one of my friends, and she is still my close friend today. I met Norma Tanner, and we could never be any closer than a couple of sisters. In fact, we will be traveling to South Africa in October. And so it's like, yeah, the person we're going to go see, I met in Toastmasters. So it is terrific. If you're needing a few friends, you're going to find them in Toastmasters, and you're going to improve your speech, your leadership, and your confidence. Confidence builder. What do you think? Is that the best thing about Toastmasters, or is it this the friends?
Well, I think the friendship is the main thing. Confidence builder, yes, it is a definite confidence builder. You get around good people, especially people like Norma, she's going to help you with your confidence. She will help you to speak, how to learn to basically walk, talk, and get your point across. It is not a case of, well, so like, none of that. I learned to drop that. I learned to replace the word but with however. She has given me so much that I could never repay her if I was to try to pay her. And she doesn't want money. She wants me to succeed. She's been that way with everyone I've ever seen in Toastmasters. Get in, come with us, let us help you succeed. My interviews went way smoother after that. I learned things about myself and about others. People are just people. It's no different from me to the next person. The first time I spoke publicly, I was nervous. In fact, I had literally lost my breakfast beforehand. I was that nervous. I had a headache that was outstanding. I don't do that anymore because I learned a lot about me and about others. That's what has helped me with Toastmasters.
Oh, I think so. And you're right. People or members don't seem to want to go out and invite their friends. And I try to explain to them, I will be forever grateful to the woman that decided I needed Toastmasters and would not let it drop because it has changed my life. You know, I always tell people I sat in a corner talking one-on-one, and now I've talked in front of 3,500 people.
Yeah.
Is that possible? And I'm on Wake Up with Toastmasters as a person who does interviews. It's like your life will change, and it will change for the better. One of the things I know that you have done is you were an area director. Now, the area director is the next level up from the club. So many clubs belong to an area, and they have a head honcho. And you were in at one time. What do you think of your experience as being an area director?
I liked being an area director. It gave me a chance to expand my horizons. I learned what I could truthfully do. And the neat part that I found about all of it, I wasn't going to fail. I had a question. It just took me a minute. I could pick up the phone and call Norma. I could call Phil Bateman. I could call you. I could call anyone, Sherry Parker. It didn't matter. When I made that phone call, you were telling me what things that I could do to make my whole life there better, relax, take it easy. My 1 year Toastmasters seemed like a 2-month trip after I was talking and working with you guys. All I got to do was meet more people and have a whole lot more fun. It was just enjoyable. The only thing I didn't like about being an area director, that was not being able to compete. I understand though, I was in an office position. Can't be an officer of an area and compete. That would not be fair.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. And when you were asked to be an area director, did you think, oh, I can do that job? Or, oh, I'm not sure I can do that job. Do I really want that job?
3 people told me if I wanted to be an area director, they would help me, support me. And one of them definitely I knew meant every word. Therefore, I jumped in, I did it. After about my 2nd month of it, I said, this is much easier than I had ever figured it would be. There were forms that took me all the way through. I didn't have to make up anything. It was just laying there. Pick up the form, answer the questions, go through the meetings. I would contact generally the vice president of education and the president, tell them I was going to come at a certain meeting and I wanted to make sure they were there. I went, I recorded the meeting, I met everyone. It wasn't long till I just fell in love with my clubs. I had 5 clubs, and that was a start. At the end of it, I was at 6 clubs. It was incredible. It just expanded.
Uh-huh.
The
How
potential is
often did you visit your clubs?
I usually visit them probably once every 2 months on average.
I think that that's a good deal. I tell people today with only 4, they could do one a week so they could visit once a month. But, every other month, as long as you're there talking to your clubs and advising them, helping them in any way you can, it's the way to go because your clubs are what's supporting you to be distinguished. So you got a new club, which means you ended up with 6. Were you participating in that new club?
A little bit. That was clear out in Laughlin. So
Ah,
I was out there a few times.
mhm.
We had a lot of fun. It was tough to make that long trip. However, I had help. Uh,
Yeah.
there was various ones. Margie North helped me. Phyllis Wall, who was a big lifesaver, and helped me. Dana helped me. Norma helped me. Anytime I needed to go, I did go. It was no problem. We always had transportation of some sort. My inability to make a long trip by myself was at that time really bad. So the people helped me out. It was wonderful. I've never seen an organization with people helping people so much. It is
I think
incredible.
that's very true. When I speak, I usually tell people the Distinguished Toastmaster, DTM, actually stands for Dedicated to Mentoring. And we are all here to mentor one another. So somebody helped us when we started, and we should be willing to help others. But that's part of gaining information and knowledge about yourself and new skill levels, listening to what the other person needs and helping provide that. Now, when we talked about area director, you said you couldn't be in competition. Tell us about being in contests. What do you love about it?
Oh, I love contests, getting out my equipment, setting up props, putting things together. I make the audience laugh. It's not to make them laugh. I give them something that they can laugh at and work with. I give them a message to take home. Mostly, I make sure that everyone gets to participate. One of the things that I like to do is ask a question. What does it do? It makes everybody think. Your wheels begin to turn. As soon as those wheels are turning, I have you because now you're involved. It's great with competitions because I've done one competition where I made everybody an exercise. Grab your chair up, pull forward 1 inch. Now, I want everybody to place your right hand over your heart like you were going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, look up at the ceiling. You see those lights? If nothing else, today you can say honestly, I have been moved, my heart has been touched, and I have seen the light. The amazing, wonderful thing is that we all did it together. We all laughed together. We had a wonderful time.
What
It's
can
not
I
just
say
me.
other than great voice there for that? I have seen the light. Great
Yes.
voice. You made me a believer. Tell me about which contest do you like? Now we have 4 contests, I believe. International, evaluation, humorous, and tall tales. Oh, we also have table topics. Do you
Yes.
have a preference or do you just compete in everything?
I do compete in everything. My 2 loves are tall tales and humorous. I love both of those. They're great contests. The evaluation is fantastic because I'm not only out here competing, I am the servant to the person who is being evaluated. I look for what was good, what could be improved upon, how to leave a message and not a bad taste in their mouth. I want them to understand I'm there to help them. I'm their friend. Make their speech better. If I can do that, I've won. I don't care if I took home first place or not. Those are the things that I look for. That makes me a winner. And that's something I learned in all the competitions. If I can send the audience a message, we can have fun together, we can all learn a little something, then I'm a winner. I don't need a trophy to tell me I won because people are learning something.
how true it is. And I believe in being in a contest that each speech should have a call to action or some kind of information about it. Um, Something that stays with the people, makes it interesting for them so that they do have a takeaway and a great call to action. So superb, superb. Do you want to tell us more about your future? Are we ever going to see you as a division governor? Will you be taking on area governor again? What do you think you're going to be doing in Toastmasters?
I think you're going to be seeing me more in the competition area.
Mhm.
I'm going to continue probably with my 3 clubs for a while. I've got a few challenges in my life, so I don't think at the time I'm ready to go to division. However, there are so many areas in Toastmasters where I am able to help. If you need somebody to help you with any type of mentoring, just getting out on the stage, public speaking, listening for ahs, ums, so's. If you need somebody to mentor you as an ah counter or a timer, give me a yell. I'm happy to do that. That's no problem. I have a lot of time. I'm retired.
Mhm.
Therefore, if you need me to do something, you bet I'm going to. And I'm going to not just do it, I'm going to help you do it. This is the key, is to get you to where I'm at. I want you to be really better than I am. And you can be. That's easy enough. I'm nothing special. There's people out there that are so much more inclined to be great. I am okay, but you could be great. I would be glad to help push anyone to greatness.
Well, I think willingness makes you great because not everybody is willing to help. They are all with so many things in their lives. And when you say you're willing, that makes it extra special. And then when you were talking, I thought about the club support team. Have you heard of the support team and are you by chance on it?
I have heard of it. And in the club support team, I guess you could say I am a big part of it. I will help mentor anyone within the club. I also am an officer in every club that I'm in. I do different types of officer duty, like for Windjammers, I'm sergeant at arms. Well, I'm getting out the paperwork and everything for the room. If you happen to be let's say the secretary, you need a secretary form, I got it, no problem. Oh, guest packets, that's my department. I have those. I make sure that they get held out to the people. And I want to place that person with another person, preferably an officer, so they can go through and explain the roles. Also understand a little bit about that office, because people are going to love getting involved. They want to be involved. That is what I have come to learn. I know I love to be involved. So when I get a new person, one of the first things I'll do is make a nice joke. I had a couple, it was just what was it, 2 weeks ago, come to Windjammers. I says, "Oh, hi, I'm Curtis. What's your name?" And the guy gives his name. I said, "Wow, that's incredible." And I talking to the gal, she gives her name. I said, "This is so incredible." I said, "You ain't gonna believe this, sir, but your name is the same as my mother's name." Naturally, it's a big joke because his name, I think, was Ralph or something like that. Nobody's mother I know of is named Ralph. He got a great laugh out of it, brought him over, sat him down with me. We talked. I showed them both, what's taking place with a person. One of the things was the ah counter. I says, the ah counter right now is getting a fill on certain things. And it's not because they're going to be made fun of. It's to help the speaker. I said, that speaker is going to be told that he is saying quite a few times. It was, I believe, his second speech. Wasn't long. Boom, out come the ah counter, through the evaluation process, the whole thing. And the guy says, "That's incredible." He gave 6 so's, 2 ums, 4 you knows. I never thought of that. I said, yes, they're filler words. They're things that they're only to be reminded of to help the speaker. We're not looking to poke fun at him and, "Oh, look, you did this." We want him to be better. And you watch, the next time he's on stage, he will be.
I think that that is extremely important, that when a guest appears at your club, that someone like you would take over and help them, sit with them, so that they understand the meeting and what's going on at the meeting. The club support team I was talking about is actually a group of people that do go out to other clubs and fill roles. They're operating now through Telegram, and you should probably be getting an invitation to join that group. But people that have low membership or absenteeism can go on to Telegram, tell them their meeting time, date, what they need, like a timer, and it goes out to the group. And then one of the group members will say, yes, I can come to your meeting. And when everybody knows what they need and they know that someone in the group has filled it. So I think this would be a great opportunity for you. So if you see the information coming across in your email, please answer it, because it's called the club support team. And we'd like to get it fully stocked with people that are willing to go to other clubs and fill roles if it fits their time slot. And like you say, you've got some time. Maybe this would be a good fit for you. Well, we're at the end of our day. Boy, it goes quick. I see that Jennifer has come on and said hello to us this morning. Hello, Jennifer.
Morning,
Sorry,
Jen.
we didn't say hello earlier, but I noticed that you were there. Curtis, do you have any final words for us before I make a few announcements?
Well, yes. One thing I will say, if you're going to be a mentor, be ready to learn. And I mean this truthfully. I had one young lady, I was showing how to use some props. When I got all done, her speech was ready, prepared, she gave her speech with props. She had little notes written on the back of the props. She had numbers, so that she could do 1 and drop it, 2, drop it, 3, drop it. She kept herself in order with her props. I've done the same thing, but not quite like that, to write something down on the prop. She would just drop these pieces of paper on the floor. They were lightly written in pencil. You couldn't see them from where she was at. It was a wonderful experience. I thought, geez, why didn't I think of something like that? I guess in a sense, I taught her that. However, I wasn't aware that writing the prop down on a piece of paper was so likely. But she did. The number 1, she had her information on it, and then she dropped it. She continued on through to number 2, and the information kept her from getting lost. Everything was wrapped up. And her last prop, which she held up, she had a little notation on the back of it that gave the whole point of the speech.
Wow.
Wow, incredible.
Some people can think of ways to get crib sheets going, and that sounds like a great one. It has been my pleasure to have you visit with me today and talk with you and find out more about your journey in Toastmasters. I thank you so much for coming on and visiting with me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, for announcements, we have the 24th, which will be our committee meeting and our council meeting. So the council meeting is for all members of Toastmasters can attend, but the voting membership for the council meeting is the VP of Ed and the president. They each have 1 vote, or one or the other can carry 2 votes. So that will be this Saturday. Along with that, at 6 o'clock, we have game night. So all this information should have been sent to you by email. If you don't have it, then contact one of your top 3, which would be Gene Williams, Ken Richardson, or Scott Transu, and get the information that you need, because this Saturday you won't want to miss out. Even if you're not a VP of membership or of education or president, you want to hear what's going on in your district, that will be the time to find out, because there'll be announcements and reviews from each of your division governors. till next time, I will see you next Tuesday again. And I think my guest will be Guy Dawson. He's going to talk about new clubs. And I'll be back with you on Thursday with Scott Transu. We'll see what he has in mind. Tomorrow will be Jennifer Smith. And on Friday will be Jean Williams. Until then, please stay with us. Come back and visit every weekday. We're here every weekday at 6 a.m. Goodbye.
Hey, take care, y'all. And remember to tune in to see Guy Dawson. He was my huge inspiration.